This program is part of the Infinite Potato Alliance. Visit us at infinitepotato.com.
I'm Jared Stern. I think people should listen because we're desperate for attention right now.
I'm also Jared Stern. This is what I like to call an exercise in benign narcissism. And you're...
I haven't always been a Jared Stern,
Jared
but I changed
Findell?
it legally. Like, I am now legally Jared Stern. This is the newest Jared Stern, and you're listening to Between Two Sterns.
Hey!
Ba-da-da!
It's been, I don't know when you're listening to this, but it's been like a month since the last episode.
I'm
we've
listening
dropped.
right now.
Right now. You're listening right now, but if you're listening like in the far-flung future, whenever that happens to be, whenever, when the sky is on fire and we're all hunting each other for fuel and for food and resources.
Not those Jan Sixers, though.
No, they're
They're
going to
getting
have
a sick payout.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of great things. They'll be able to at least afford gas.
Greatest thing I read in a while. There are 2 January 6 police officers that were injured during January 6th that are now suing Donald Trump to stop him from providing money and benefits to the Jan 6 protests.
Well,
and when we started this podcast 4 years ago, 5
years ago,
and January 6th occurred during the second episode?
It was
in between the first and the second?
The second episode happened like right after that happened because I remember it. We were zooming from each other's houses, and I live in Capitol Hill in DC, so we were right up in it. I live a mile from the Capitol.
I just could not imagine that this is where we were going to get to.
But here we are. Where was I? What was I saying? Oh, it's just been a while since we've spoken.
Part of the reason,
you and to each other.
Part of the reason is we get to play everyone's favorite game.
What's wrong with Jared now?
Rachel and I went to Punta Cana.
Oh yeah, well I was going to get to our travel,
which. Again, won't talk about the companies that I work for, but started with a new company, great company. Really love this company that I work for.
Very happy that you're employed.
Did 1 week worth of initial training, then 2 weeks of travel, then 1 week of training, 2 weeks of training in a store, and then went on a week-long vacation. And everybody at work asked me, they were like, "Did you plan this?" And I was like, I didn't, but I'm going to do that moving forward from now on. Nothing eases you into a new job.
Like immediate PTO.
More than, let's get the training out of the way, and then I need a break. I just need a little break from that, and then I'll come back.
Absorb the training. Going to walk through it on the beach.
The process we did was training, vacation, back to a little bit of work, immediately sick.
So hantavirus?
I have no idea. It's one of them. I don't know what it is. What I will say is, so we went to Punta Cana. Rachel and I are notorious for bringing the rain and the terrible weather with us wherever we go.
Did you?
Not at all.
Oh,
it was
great.
a beautiful trip. The weather was perfect. The sun, it was great. Perfect. Couldn't have asked for better. On the flight back, Rachel's sitting in the aisle because Rachel needs to stand up for her standing hours. Rachel hasn't, we've gone over this at one point.
Possibly.
Rachel has her standing hours she has to get every hour. So she sits in the aisle. She can get up and get her stand. It's one of her addictions. She is on probably a year and a half, maybe almost 2 year streak
of standing?
Of getting the 12 standing hours every day.
Wait a minute. She stands for an hour.
No. Your Apple Watch, if you're standing within that hour, it's a movement thing.
I know. No, Andrea is addicted to her goddamn streaks on her. The watch, the Apple Watch has gamified life.
Yeah.
But the downside of that is you need to get credit for every fucking step. Every fucking step you've ever taken in your life, you need to have credit for that step. If you are taking an outdoor walk, the watch needs to know you're taking an outdoor walk.
Yeah, she turns
and so she fills her circles to make sure. And she had like a 170-day streak, and the day that streak broke, you would have thought someone had died.
Yeah.
It was awful.
I would say her standing hours are one of her greatest obsessions. I don't mind it. I like open book tests. I like easy tests. I like, here's the thing you're passionate and you care about. Great. Sure. I can lean into it and we're on the same team. Thrice now, she has accidentally left her watch at home.
Oh, no.
And I've had to run it over to her at work. One time she didn't have enough meeting schedule, like time during the day for the meetings. So like a psychopath, I was wearing 2 watches on. I had her watch on my hand to help her because she was standing.
That's
It's
horseshit.
not like she wasn't standing.
Break the streak at that point.
No,
then
no.
Let the streak go. You can't be beholden to these streaks.
And it's finicky. Sometimes she'll be like standing for an hour, nothing. And sometimes she'll get it randomly in the middle of the night. Anyway, so she's sitting in the aisle of the airplane. And there is a man, I would say somewhere around the age of 80.
Okay.
80 to 85.
Okay, that's a
80
narrow window.
80 to 88, 89, 90.
80 to dead?
80 up.
Okay.
80 plus.
80 plus. Yeah, that's good.
Who was, and I worked in healthcare for 4 years.
Oh, were you behind a wet coffer? Oh.
No. This man was actively dying.
Oh.
Like bent over, barely functions, and like we like to the point where Rachel was like, "Is this guy gonna fucking die?" And I was like, "I don't know."
I've sat in front of someone who I thought was needed needed to be met by an ambulance when the plane landed.
This is exactly where I thought things, and like I the whole time I'm like, good. So anyway, we're sitting there doing our thing, cooking, bumping, whatever. The flight ends.
What are you doing on the plane?
The flight ends. He's like, as it's coming towards us, and as he unbuckles him and sits up, like his phone, some papers and shit all fall into the aisle next to him.
Uh-huh.
And Rachel, being the good Samaritan that she is, leans over and picks them up and hands them to him. And I turn to her and I go, "Well, now you've got it too."
Yeah.
Don't know what it is, but if it's death, it's coming for you next.
Yep.
So we get off the plane, we get home, we're back for a couple of days, and like Monday-ish. Monday? Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm like, she's like congested. She's not, maybe she's having allergies. I don't know.
Maybe she's turning 80. You have no idea.
By the time that day ended, she was like, I am not doing it. Like, I am hurt and I'm fatigued. Gave her some, like, I don't know. I don't know if we took meds. I think I did. I gave her some NyQuil that night to help her sleep. Got up Tuesday. She got hit like a fucking freight train. Like, she was like, I don't know what's going on. Hers was all like head congestion, sinus congestion, no real headaches, but like the debilitating nature of COVID is what I would say. Like, all you could feel that you had the energy to do is like lift your head up, drink.
Was it COVID?
I took a COVID test. I didn't test positive, but I also saw a doctor and they said it could be like a new variant. But
oh, great. So happy to be talking to you. And,
midway through Tuesday, all of a sudden, I start feeling it come on. And I was like, oh no. So I get home. She is in bed. Uh-huh. Like, she like finished her meetings. And I'm like, I think it's going to. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we spent both Wednesday and Thursday laying in bed.
Well, at least if you're going to convalesce, at least convalesce together. That's
agreed.
Nice.
But like, you know Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel, a month and a half ago, was also sick, something like that, and was so unfamiliar with how to take a sick day, she didn't know the process. She was like, what, do I message my boss? Like, what's the protocol? Like, because
she's never taken PTO.
She is
for
a
sickness?
workaholic. She will work through broken bones. She will work through anything. And so the fact that it laid both of us out, like, we were incapacitated for Wednesday and Thursday. I think Friday we were also kind of bedridden. I think Saturday we managed to move to a couch at some point.
Okay, great.
But like, I lost my voice on Monday through all this. Like, it has been gnarly.
Yeah, we were hoping to have this episode to you a week ago.
See this box?
But
this box of tissues comes in a 4-pack.
Yeah, this is the 4th?
This is the 4th 4-pack we've gone through.
Oh, God.
Since Saturday.
You've gone through 16 boxes of tissues?
This is what all of my trash cans look like, are just like overfloweth with tissues.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't wait to get whatever you got.
I'm not contagious. Otherwise, I wouldn't have invited you over.
Okay. Well, isn't that responsible of you? But otherwise, Punta Cana was
Punta Cana was lovely.
lovely.
Punta Cana was Punta. Couldn't be better.
That's great.
I didn't have it in the beginning, and I really didn't have it.
You
towards
really
it.
didn't have a period.
I didn't have a landing for that.
No, but you know what? After the landing, you'll get it a couple days later.
That's it. So what about you? How have you been?
I've been great. So, I mean, part of the reason why we've been away from you, the listeners who are listening, is because he's had travel, I've had travel, and then he's been laid up. But we have a great episode for you. You may have heard in the opening of the episode. We haven't heard it yet because we haven't talked to him yet. But we have a new Jared Stern stepping through the portal.
I just remembered that's what's happening.
This episode. So we'll be talking to him later. I did want to take care of a couple quick things, and then I want to talk about my trip, which was fucking fantastic.
You took a trip?
I did take a trip
To where?
Utah.
Oh my God, this is the fucking Jeep trip.
Ford Bronco.
That's
but yes,
it.
this
Yeah.
was the Ford Bronco trip.
Yep.
I've got a lot to talk
I'm
about, and we
excited.
don't have a ton of time to talk
Go
about.
ahead,
But,
go ahead.
All right, so a couple things. First of all, we just passed 10,000 listens/downloads. Holy shit. We never thought anyone would listen to this goddamn thing in the first place, and 10,000 times this show has been listened to, and thank you for doing that. Here's to at least 100 more.
Who was the 10,000th download?
I don't know. Well, I don't have access to that sophisticated a metric. I don't know exactly.
Tag us if you were our 10,000th
Hey, if you're
download, and
you're
we'll
the
give
10th
you 10,000 thank yous.
Yeah, pretty much that would be it. Also, once again, it is that time for Best
Oh my God.
of DC. So
That's crazy.
it is crazy.
that this keeps happening
This
every
keeps
year.
every year. It
Every
keeps
year.
happening. We won Best Local Podcast last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I won Best Comedian.
Well, Jared Stern won best.
But Jared Stern
I don't
won
want to
Best-
assume that it's you.
You know, but that's
not
right.
me. I didn't submit, but other Jared Sterns.
It certainly could have
submitted.
been any of the Jared Sterns we've spoken to. They all can claim credit.
Yes.
It's so we're back on, and so voting extends through to June 10th. There
Good.
will be links in the description of the podcast, and also on there's a link on Jared. If you go to jaredstern.com, it's the first post on the website,
that first
and we'll have it in the comments of the Facebook post for this episode. So check that out. Also, we got a glimmer of hope. A faint
Oh yeah.
glimmer
Yeah.
of hope. You may remember that we and professional dancer Jared Stern were going to form a Jared Stern Voltron and compete.
Wait, are we saying any of the details of it at this point?
Well, here's what I'll say. It's been officially announced that the Wordle game show
There it is. Okay.
is happening.
That's what it was.
It was postponed because there were some legal issues with the hosts of the show, but she's actually come out and said she's hosting the show. Savannah Guthrie is hosting the show. She made that announcement on the Today Show, and I saw a little email come through that said, "Hey, want to be on a Wordle game show?" It was through like the Wordle, New York Times Wordle site. So it's back on, and I have to assume our audition is still in the hopper. So if it is, that means you're saying there's a non-zero chance that we could still do this.
It's above a zero.
So yeah, it's above zero, not very far above zero, but right now it's a potential now. It was not happening at all. We lost all hope. Now there's a faint glimmer of false hope, and now hopefully that hope will.
There's a faint glimmer of false hope.
Glimmer of false hope.
I love that.
Yeah. Anyway, so Andrea and I a couple weeks ago went to Utah to go and visit all of the national parks therein. Most of the national parks therein. Why are you
That's
shaking
not
your
why
head?
you went to Utah.
Well, that's all right. So we built the trip around. Andrea bought a Ford Bronco last year, and when you buy a Ford Bronco, the Ford Corporation will invite you to one of two of their what they call off rodeo sites, and one of them was in the Great Smokies, and the other one is in Moab in Utah. And so we're like, well, shit, let's go to Moab, and then that was like middle of the trip, and then we built more visitations around it. So we landed in Salt Lake City, we rented an RV, and then we went to Capitol Reef and Canyonlands and Arches and Moab and Bryce Canyon and Zion. Man, when I tell you this was one of the most just the most breathtaking scenery you'll ever lay your eyes on, and to say nothing of the fact that it was at elevation, like breathtaking regardless, both physically and scenery wise. Around every corner, you had a different type of rock formation, it was just a geological wonderland. You want sedimentary? They got sedimentary. You want igneous? They got igneous. Volcanic. Just the Colorado River did some fucking work in that part of Utah and just carved all of these mountains up, and it is just, all of it is stunning. Absolutely stunning to look at. Vistas as far as it's like being on another planet. Like some of these places that you're driving through. There's one that's actually called Moonscape because it looks like you're on the surface of the moon. When we were at Bryce Canyon, it looked like you're on the surface of Mars. It is absolutely, just do yourself a favor if you ever get a chance to go to that part of the country, do it.
What's the food sitch?
Not great.
They have like a Starbucks out there.
Oh yeah. Well, they got all that stuff because especially Moab was a giant tourist trap. But most of our food was, when we stopped the RV on the way to an RV site, it was like a burger joint, like going to like a greasy spoon on the side of the road. We had to actively find a vegetable that wasn't a potato.
Cactus?
It was
Cacti?
much like what we looked at. It was many shades of brown. That was what we'd find on our plates. Many shades of brown. The other thing was that we were driving this RV. We were driving a Winnebago Solis, which is built on a Ram ProMaster chassis.
That's yours, right?
That's what we rented.
Oh, okay.
We rented that when we were out there from a company called Road Surfer. And again, it's basically a much better version of the van we had.
Right.
It's a van that was actually outfitted with it folded out into a queen bed.
Oh, nice.
Had a toilet in it that we only use sparingly because you got to empty it after you're done. That's why camping isn't always the best.
Never mind.
Yeah. Listen, you just have to take care of it at the end. Otherwise, you lose the deposit. But we're on these mountain roads, man, and I'm telling you, 12 West, if you ever get a chance to go on 12 West, get affiliated with the following warning sign: steep grades and sharp curves.
Yeah.
Because you're going down on Boulder, it's Boulder Mountain, and you're going down like maybe 14% grades, and those signs where the arrows do the squiggly thing, those are not fucking around. Like, those are not just there as a suggestion. That's what the road's going to be doing. And
that's what it does. Road's going to road.
Yeah, the road roaded. And so at certain points on this road where there are constant pull-offs where you could just go and gaze on essentially all of Utah. You could you were at like, I think we were at like 8,000 feet. You could go and just look at the entire sprawling scenery. And there were points where you'd see like essentially what would look like a U-turn arrow. And that was just because the road was just going to make a hairpin turn at that point. And we're in this van, and vans aren't known to take sharp curves super well. So that was a both stunning and harrowing experience.
But how was the vehicle that was like you went out there to test drive? What happened?
Not test drive.
Not test drive.
All right. Well, here's the thing. So we got, according to the clock, we got 5 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, what the hell? I can go. We can go. We can make a Jared Stern
I don't.
sandwich.
I want to know about the
We-
buggy.
the-
Whatever.
the
What did
buggy?
Andrea drive?
A Ford Bronco.
So she off-roaded this thing.
Yes. So we went to the off-rodeo site,
Yeah.
and we had a guide, and it was like 6 cars, 6 Ford Broncos, all connected via walkie-talkie, and our guide was in the lead car, and at certain points he would get out of the car and guide us through, like when you're. He was instructing us on the finer points of putting a tire like on a rock, as opposed to trying to go around it, because when you're faced with all of these rocky crags and dips and whatever, you want to make sure you're not ripping a sidewall on a tire.
Sure.
You want to make sure you're putting the tire on the rock. So he would guide us through that, how to find our line to get through. Most of this track was taken at between 2 to 5 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
But there were points where you could open it up and do like 25, 30, but those were dirt tracks.
25 and 30 miles an hour?
On off-road terrain, that's fast enough.
Okay.
Trust me.
Did you get to drive it all?
Yes, I did. I did not. Here's the thing. It was her experience.
Right.
I did not want to take it away from her.
Sure.
But
You were tired of walking out next to the vehicle?
No.
Because you were going 3 miles an hour? And so...
Dude, you do not know what we were
she
doing.
needed to get a standing hour, so she let you take the wheel.
I mean, maybe. But what this did for me was, because typically I'm a bad passenger. I don't know if you have this problem,
No,
but
I'm
I
good.
can't sit in a passenger seat very well. When I'm not in control of the vehicle, I have control issues. I have problems with that. I will find the invisible brake pedal
Yeah.
in the in the wheel well of my seat.
Yeah.
I will clutch the oh shit handles. I will.
That's Rachel.
I'm a horrible.
Are you aware of it and apologize for it?
I
Do you make the sounds?
constantly apologize.
Are you a sound maker?
Oh yeah. Oh, that happens too. Yep.
Yeah, that's Rachel.
And I have to apologize for being the way that I am.
Yeah.
And
She
I
does
felt
the
like this experience made me a more patient
Oh.
and supportive passenger, because while she was finding the line and having to give it gas to go over these rocks, and I had to encourage her, you got this, go ahead and give it this, and not over instruct myself, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Correct.
But it was an amazing experience. And I'll get back to this
Sure.
right after we talk to the newest Jared Stern, who will be arriving shortly.
It's very punctual.
Good.
I like that.
He claimed it was exciting. And ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the newest
Hello.
Jared Stern. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Before we begin anything, I think we know which side of the line he looks more like at this point. Because this Jared Stern looks like he could be related to me at this point. Jared, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you guys?
Going well.
We're doing great. We're very happy to finally meet you in person. Please let us know where you are calling us from.
I am from Southern Oregon right now.
Oh, rock on. I was just in southern Utah,
Nice.
which is probably it's nowhere near Oregon, but
On the right side of the
Yeah,
state.
it's on that side. It's on that
Yeah.
correct side of the country.
So before we begin, just to give you a little idea about how the format will go, sorry, I'm getting over being sick, but we like to record from the beginning. If there's ever anything that you don't feel like answering, just wave it off. We're not like, or if you're like, oh shit, I didn't mean to say it that way. Can we just let me know and we'll edit it
Okay.
out. It's
Sounds
not a problem. Yeah, you don't have to be overly cautious or paranoid about that type of stuff. And then, I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to some of the other like interviews we've done with other Jared Sterns. Usually we have a handful of like questions that we ask just to see kind of similarities between everyone, but it's a very loose format and just a very silly idea that developed out of this podcast that we have.
Nice. Yeah, this morning I was listening to the the handsome Jared Stern one and
Oh.
the gamer Jared Stern one.
Don't even get me started. Still.
He's very resentful of the
I'm
fact
getting
that
a little.
that Jared Stern was
It's
given-
the only one who ever needed to be validated with some sort of. Everyone else has just
Listen,
doesn't matter.
this Jared Stern needs to be constantly validated. So just having one adjective ain't enough. So please tell us what do you do in Oregon? What makes you this particular Jared Stern?
I am currently a data analyst for Richardson Sports. They're a big hat company up in Eugene,
cool.
Oregon. I get to work remote, so I get to move wherever I want to go and not have to worry about going into the office all the time, which is
Fantastic.
great. And then outside of work, I like to do tons of different hobbies. I do archery, leatherworking, video games, kind of all over the place.
Archery and leatherworking. Do you do you shoot or do you just?
He just likes watching.
Well, I'm just saying. Do you? Hang on. When I hear leatherworking and I hear archery, I feel like you're making the bows. Do you make your own stuff, or
I don't make the bows yet. I want to get into that eventually,
Cool.
but living in an apartment is kind of tough to do that sort of thing.
Well,
But,
is there a range near you where you can go and do target practice and stuff like that?
Yeah. There's actually one like just a couple blocks from me. And when I lived in Ashland, I used to go with my father-in-law pretty often.
I was hoping Ashland would come up in this conversation. A couple years ago, my wife and I were driving up from Napa on our way to Seattle for her high school reunion, and we happened upon Ashland, Oregon, and the Shakespeare Festival that was happening there. Have you ever been to the Shakespeare Festival that happens in Ashland?
Many times. I grew up in Ashland. I was born and raised there. So I went for every year in school. We had to go see at least one play at the Shakespeare Festival.
That's so fantastic. That was such just a delightful surprise because we just drove into town. We're like, yeah, maybe we'll go get dinner. Oh, I guess maybe we'll go see Hamlet. And like they have like a replica of the Globe.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so cool, and they have Broadway caliber actors and actresses who are just doing Shakespeare in Oregon.
Yep.
It was so cool. It's one of the best productions of Hamlet I've ever seen, and I've seen a few.
Nice.
So, couple of quick kind of get to know you questions. First of all,
Sure.
And again, none of this is to steal your identity. It's just a matter of seeing how you line up with other Jared Sterns. We can bleep out anything you're not comfortable with. So, first of all, do you have a middle name?
I do, yes.
What is it?
John.
Oh, okay. JJ. All right.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, we haven't encountered the same middle name yet, which is
interesting.
You look confused, like we have.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
But I was gonna say, because we often ask the other Jared Sterns, have you ever gone by a nickname?
That's right.
Has JJ ever been a nickname for you?
JJ was never one of them for me. Just Jay occasionally, like my mom would call me that, but never JJ. When I was in baseball, I got J-Rod, which was a pretty common one. But
I think we've all gotten like the J-Rod stuff, but Jared is a really difficult name to nickname because the J doesn't sound like a J. And surprisingly, none of us have been Red. Maybe it was just because Morgan Freeman locked it in and Shawshank Redemption, it just didn't convert over. I don't know.
Doesn't really fit. Yeah.
And then when's your birthday?
August 26th.
Okay.
I knew you were going to be a Virgo if you're a data analyst.
Are Virgos very analytical?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
This is why it's very easy for people to understand that I'm the Virgo of the pair of us. And you are the Libra.
Libra.
Libra, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm very balanced.
And then what's the other most common? What we know what you do for a living, nickname,
Last four of your
social security
Yeah.
number. That's right. Hobbies and whatnot. Yeah, I think those are the big ones that we just kind of like to get out of the way. My big question that I always like to ask is because Jared does all of the outreach to people, and I always like to hear what your experience was first reaching out to Jared, and at what point did you stop thinking it was a scam? Those were my
Yeah, the first reach out was on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
like right after I changed my name because I haven't always been a Jared Stern. I actually changed it when I got married a couple months back.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I'm a
what is
faker.
your legal name?
My legal name is Lindo.
Wait a second.
But
Jared
I changed
Lindo?
it legally. Like I am now legally
Wait.
Jared Stern.
Wait a minute. So your wife's last name is Stern? No.
It is now.
Wait a second.
So both of us had different last names.
Okay.
And then we didn't like how our name sounded with the other person's last name when we went to get married.
And you chose Stern?
We did, based off of a book character that we read back in high school when we first started dating.
What book character?
His name is Kyler Stern. He's from the Night Angel series by Brent Weeks.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was it was wild because you messaged me like literally like 5 days after I updated it.
I don't think you realize how great this is. Let me explain to you why this is so great. Jared we both agreed. The question we get asked most is, why are we interviewing other Jared Sterns? And so I don't know if you heard it in the other interviews. I'll give you the very quick version. We're both comedians. We got mistaken for each other when we were younger, much younger. And so after a while, we were like, okay, they're using my headshot. Okay, well, they're using your bio, that type of thing.
Yeah.
We were on different coasts. It didn't really intersect that much until COVID happened. We both got shut down. You couldn't get up on stage or perform or anything. And we were like, we should just do a podcast. So the first episode of the podcast was the first time Jared and I had ever had a face-to-face conversation. We had one phone call prior. We played, I think, an hour's worth of Fall Guys at one point just to make sure we weren't complete assholes and lunatics. But then the whole podcast, we're up to like 160 at this point.
This is, in fact, episode 160.
Is like two complete strangers who went from strangers to finding our own similarities to becoming colleagues and then friends, practically family at this point. But we reached a wall where we're like, well, there's really, as deep as we both are, there's a bottom to this well.
There is a finite amount of Jared Sterns. And now we're just creating new ones?
And so wait. So we had this, there's a very famous Jared Stern, director Jared Stern. He did like Lego Batman movie. He did DC League of Super Pets. And so I think I threw it out. I don't joke. We were like, we should try and get him on the podcast. And so we're like, this is going to be our entire season 2.
He was our white whale.
This is going to be the entire plot. And so the next week, Jared comes back on the podcast. He goes, you're not going to believe this. I know somebody who knows this Jared Stern, the director Jared Stern. It was like crazy. The next week he comes on, he's like, yeah, so he talked to me. He's good. He's going to do it next week. Like our entire season 2 arc was done in 3 weeks. And so after we interviewed him, again, as a joke, we were like, we should find other Jared Sterns. And Jared here has been instrumental in reaching out and finding him. But there have been rules, Jared. The rule is you must be a Jared Stern and you must spell it the exact way. And as a joke, I said, but if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wants to change his name to Jared Stern, Jared goes, well, if he changes his name legally, then he is allowed to come on the podcast. And never in my wildest fucking dreams did I imagine we actually found someone who legally changed their name to Jared Stern. That's crazy.
That's wild.
How long have you been a Jared Stern?
Only about 9 months now.
You are our youngest Jared Stern to date. Because how old are you normally? How old are you?
I'll be 28 this summer.
You're like a leap year baby at this point. As a Jared, you're 28 years old, but as a Jared Stern, you're still less than a year.
Still a baby. Yep.
Unbelievable.
Still learning to tie your shoes and wipe your ass and all those things.
Were there other names in the mix? Or was it always going to be Stern?
we had talked about changing it
Yeah.
entirely, but we hadn't really thrown out any other ideas. And then we just kind of jokingly tossed that one out, and we're like, oh, actually, that one sounds kind of nice with both of our names. So we kind of
So
latched onto it, and then it had that sentimental of the book character kind of thing
that's
going for
incredible.
it too.
So again, anything you're not comfortable with, what's her name? Just
Emma.
And I know it's odd because I just want to know where you went from. So your original last name was
Lindo.
and her original last name was
Colhane.
Are either of you Jewish?
She's she has Jewish heritage on her dad's side.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
sure. Well, the way this breaks down normally is I'm a half Jew. My mother's Irish Catholic, my dad's Jewish, and that's why you get somebody who looks like me. So immediately when I saw you, I was like, there's a hybrid. He's on my team. And then there are full Jews that are usually, and as I have this vision that I'm going to build like a family feud game of like Jared Stearns versus Jared Stearns.
We got to have the half.
My side is the hybrids and his are the full. And I was like, oh, this guy's on my side. But now it's this whole like new mix over here. How did your families react to the changing of the names? Were they supportive of it?
My mom was a little weird about it because I'm like the last of the Lindo line, and I don't plan on having any kids. So it was going to end with me anyways, which was kind of why I was okay with changing it. But my in-laws, my wife's family, they were all initially kind of like, that's a interesting choice, but then after they kind of got used to it, they're totally on board and were very supportive of it.
Yeah, this is crazy. So and so both of you kind of didn't like how your name sounded, like, because I understand maybe if one of you didn't. Like if you said to yourself,
right,
Jared Lindo, not exactly what I was looking for.
Let me give you an example very quickly. I have a friend of mine whose last name, his legal last name is Dicker. Okay? Now, he was dating this woman who has a child, and they got married. Her last name was Gold. At no point were they going to give her child and the children that they were going to have after that the last name Dicker. So he legally changed his name to Gold.
Yep.
Nobody's going to argue this. This makes all the sense in the world. And so I've heard of that before. I've never heard of two people choosing
just a brand new name out of whole.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often. And for us, it was like Jared Colhane didn't sound quite right in our heads. And then her full name is Emmeline, not just Emma. So Emmeline Lindo was a little bit too repetitive on the LIN sound. And we wanted to match no matter what. And we didn't want to do the hyphenate because then it gets too long. Lindo Colhane or Colhane Lindo. It's a bit much. But yeah.
You ever think of like merging them together, like
Colindo.
We very briefly didn't consider it for very long.
I have to imagine that as you were thinking about changing your name, there was a 0% chance that you thought, oh, if I change this name, I might end up on a podcast with two
Absolutely
other guys. I should consider this before I start changing.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, and then when you reached out 5 days after I updated it, I was immediately like, "Oh, this is kind of weird," because people reach out to me on LinkedIn all the time as scams and stuff.
So yeah, of course, I'm so sorry. Rooting it back to the original question, which was you immediately thought this was a scam.
Yeah, but then I looked up the podcast and was like, "Oh, this is a legit podcast with quite a few episodes," and listened to a couple, and you guys were hilarious. So I talked with my wife and my friends. Because I have a lot of social anxiety, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to be on a podcast.
You'd be surprised how that runs in the Jared Stern.
Yeah. You might not have been born a Jared Stern, but you have the essence.
You fit in here.
It's great. It is.
But yeah, they convinced me to do it, and I decided to do it. And then we had our back and forth of you getting sick, me getting sick, and all that. But
that is so wild. And by the way, it is a lot easier getting Jared Stearns on now that we've been doing this for 5 years. We have 100.
Yeah.
You got to imagine in the beginning when we had 20 or 30, it was a little bit harder of a selling point.
There is now an era of legitimacy that when we put people to the website, we can show them that we have 5 years of
got a good resume.
Foundation behind us. Yeah.
That's so fun. So normally what we would ask people at this point would be, as a Jared Stern, do you have any questions about other Jared Sterns to see if anything else might have synced in? But like, I feel like this question has even more like depth and nuance to you because like
Now you're learning.
you're 9 months
you're 9
in.
months in. You
Yeah.
crawl before you can walk.
Hey, welcome to the world of Are You Related to Howard? Yeah. Do you have any questions about what it means to now that the sorting hat has been worn, now that you have been regulated to House Jared Stern,
House Jared Stern.
do you have any questions about the house?
Honestly, at this point, not really. I mean, after listening to a couple of your guys' episodes, I have a pretty good essence for what other Jared Sterns are like now.
That's awesome.
And I think you're right. I think I fit in pretty
You
well. It was
really
kind of
do.
meant to be. But
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I had no idea until you.
So glad you didn't tell him.
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
curious if you guys were going to do any sort of like questions beforehand, so you'd have some prompts for when we started
No, we like to
talking.
go into
But
things
I
with
was
you
like,
cold.
Yeah.
All we
Yeah.
know is that you're Jared Stern, and that's enough for us.
Yeah, I think people would also be surprised how little we talk to each other outside of just this podcast.
Because we can't lose material.
Because the moment we start talking,
Right, yeah.
we end up
Those get
riffing, but
stale.
we're just so used to that. My God, like now my brain is frozen. Like I don't know what to add. What wow. Okay. Okay. Were there any like did you do any Googling of Jared Stern before you changed the name to just see like
Oh, yeah.
what else was out there?
I did like a really quick one, and the first one that came up was that director. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was like the first headline, and I was like, okay, no like serial killers or anything like that.
Not
I'm
yet.
fine.
As long as you use the full name, we're pretty much safe. The first name went through a rocky period of time, but
Yes,
you were
yeah.
born with that. You really couldn't
Yeah, that
help
one I've been
much at
stuck
all.
with.
Yeah. We do our best to kind of nudge that away. Okay. I need you to start working in the back of your head because one of the things that is hilarious, we're on episode 160. Oh my God. Sorry. We're on episode 160. And we're going to, at some point, whether it's for the 200th episode, bring all of the Jareds back together. First of all, I need you to mentally and emotionally prepare yourself for the most chaotic email thread you're ever going to be a part of.
Yeah.
Because first of all, it's just grabbing at straws for email addresses, right?
1 second. So, not to interrupt. So since you just changed your name to Jared Stern, that means you had to go get the Gmail address,
Yeah.
right? Recently. So how many times did you have to type in Jared.Stern? Like I noticed it's like I'm not going to say what the number was next to your name,
Right.
but how many iterations did you have to go through before it actually spat out a Jared Stern Gmail address that actually worked?
Luckily, only the one. It was the
Oh.
same number that I had at the end of my old name email.
Oh, okay.
And I just
Got it.
changed my last name to Stern, and it worked. And I was like, all right, cool. I didn't even consider that there were like many other Jared Sterns out there because I got it on the first try.
And now we are legion. You have no idea what you've gotten yourself into.
15? 16?
No, not quite that many, but including the two of us, I think it's like 15.
What we really need is a data analyst to kind of
Yeah.
compile all the
Hey,
data.
there you go.
The Excel
I
spreadsheet.
can run the numbers.
So normally we would be like, okay, how do you want to be defined?
Oh, I
Because
think I know exactly how.
the reason why we go gamer, handsome
Investigator, yeah.
is because we need a way to reference each other because everybody has the same goddamn name. We still haven't figured out ourselves. The Eastern Western worked when I was living in California and he was living in the but now that we're like 40 minutes away from each other in the same area, but we need a way to make you unique. And look, I feel like originally I was going to be like, "Ooh, cool, Archer Jared Stern." Like, but something about this like recent change.
I think brand new Jared Stern is kind of the way to go. Brand spanking new Jared.
Brand new Jared Stern.
Yeah, Jared. It has been an absolute pleasure.
It's been so good. There's a strong possibility that we're going to talk about other things we wish we had asked you about and ask you to come back.
And by the way, you're more than what you are now part of the family. adopted though you may be, but you're part of the family.
Adopted Jared is so good.
I mean, we can call him that too. I don't know.
Now, newest Jared
The newest
Stern.
Jared Stern. He's 9 months old. He's just a
Yeah,
little.
I would be
he's just a
so
little
happy to
baby.
come back. This has been great fun. Yeah.
Oh my God. And like,
and thank you for being a good sport about this, because I know this is completely fucking ridiculous.
yeah.
And this is, yeah. You have your own life to live, and you don't need jackasses like us, just trying to pluck you out of your regular life to be on a weird podcast.
Really quickly before we like close it off, what games do you play? What do you play?
I play a whole bunch of games. I've been really into Ark, survival
Ark is
Ascended
good.
right now. Yeah, I'm a huge dinosaur guy, so it's been fun. There's been a lot of new updates recently. Otherwise, I play like lots of other single player games. If I look at my Steam right now, like Assassin's Creed, Red Dead Redemption,
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate, all those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been trying to get me to play Baldur's Gate, and I
Yes,
we don't have the time.
He's a Diablo person.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the
Oh,
time
yeah.
to not play the same Diablo game over and over again.
Well,
All right. Jared, an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. And
It was great meeting you guys.
Great
Look
meeting
forward
you
to
as
seeing you
well.
again.
we'll talk soon.
all right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Wow.
Look,
Wow. Like, seriously, how many times have we discovered something that new about somebody?
just in my wildest dreams, I never thought it would happen. I never like it wasn't
seriously.
even on my radar as something that could happen.
We've talked to now, I think he's the 13th Jared Stern that we've spoken to. And this is something completely new that we've encountered.
I don't like my brain's broken.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy pants. But I mean, it does explain why he hasn't come up in previous searches.
Why do you it's like, well,
That's a new one.
you were there, you
Oh,
like
yeah.
pounced on that,
Pounced on it.
which really just goes to show your diligence as far as like combing LinkedIn for new Jared
Which,
Stern.
by the way, and I want to bring this up, and I know we're not going to talk about where you work, okay?
Right.
We're not going to talk about where you work, but way back before, like, seriously, it's been a month since our last episode. We walked at the Pan Can Walk.
Yes, we did.
And
Yeah.
we were talking about, you were giving me shit about my searching for Jared Stearns, and
How was I?
hang on, you were talking about in your job, which is medically related, let's say.
Sure.
Okay. That you had lists of people in the database that were named Jared Stern. And I'm
Sure.
like, you got to get these people
Well,
on the podcast. And meanwhile, and all in unison, you, Rachel, and Seth all said, HIPAA violation.
Like, what are you talking about?
I'm not above a HIPAA violation
Right.
when it comes to getting people on this podcast.
That's so fucking funny. Oh my God. Did you like, I can't wait to go back and watch our faces
Yeah.
as we're like, wait. And by the way, what a truly romantic thing
Yeah, that's really
for the two of them to have like read this book from years ago and then wanting to like share that name. I think as somebody who has been divorced, I think it makes a lot of sense to come up with your own shared name.
Uh-huh.
And then if it doesn't work, you guys can just both walk away from it and like put it over there. And then
guess.
it's not a thing.
But yeah, and how random that character just happened to have that name of all the literary characters that he could have possibly chosen.
I was waiting for him to say Guildenstern from Hamlet.
Yeah.
Like I was waiting for that to happen. All right, make your sandwich, Jared. Let's go back.
I guess I can talk about Utah.
Let's go back to your off-road derby.
I mean, it's not even really worth it, but listen,
Well, we were going to drive a Bronco, but they renamed it the Escort at the last minute. Yeah.
but I will tell you that. So I got those, those meta glasses,
Yeah.
and I did record
Some video.
footage from behind the wheel and also in the passenger seat. Video from the off-roading, which maybe we can just slip
We'll just
in.
use as the outro.
We can use that
Put
as
that in as the outro stuff.
But yeah, the trip to Utah was fantastic, and that Conversation was fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I'm on a high right now.
As much as we enjoyed just discovering that in real time.
And like, you don't have to be born a Jared Stern
to bear
be
the
a
essence.
Jared Stern. And I think that's anyone can live beneath their potential.
Anyone can fall below the expectations of their friends and family. Saw the straightaway and thought we'd actually be able to pick up some speed here.
Yes.
But everyone is dawdling a little bit.
Well, that one, they dawdle a lot.
Oh, I hope this looks as cool on the video as it feels right now.
Slow it down a little bit. I hope you enjoy.
Boo!
Oh, wow. Did you just see what happened? Okay.
All right, punch it. Whoa! 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 Yeah!
Yowza.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking your ears between two sterns.
Please leave us a 5-star review, even if it's a sarcastic one.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Have an idea for the show? Or are you also Jared Stern?
Shoot us an email. You can find links to everything at jaredstern.com.